All right, traders, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. I want to welcome you all back. I was just noticing the Kiwi. Well, a couple of you guys are mentioning the Kiwi is really strong. It is. It's rallying pretty substantially. Actually, the dollar is a little weaker at the moment. Let's take a look at the dollar index. Let's go over to the, and I need to zoom in. It's way too zoomed out. So, okay. Let's go to the dollar index. And here's the dollar index, and you can see the dollar is pulling back a little bit. Obviously, we're smack dab in the middle of the range. I mean, let's just realize that. But check out what the dollar's doing. Okay, dollar's pulling back to a breakout point. Okay, we had our inverted head and shoulder pattern. I wonder if we played out completely right now. Let's see here. Depending on where you drew it from, but basically, yeah, I guess we completed that inverted head and shoulder pattern, right? Okay, but check it out. And I'll just start off with the dollar index, which is fine. Let me grab the bias chart here. Okay, so let's delete this. Okay, and let's do this. Okay, 50% retracement. That stalled us. And let me get rid of this 200 paired moving average. I'm going to get rid of that. I don't want to see it for right now. Okay, so down move, 50% retracement, inverted head and shoulder pattern extension. That comes in right at, let's just call it 98.50. That will be resistance today. We're getting tight, guys. It's a situation where we're starting to wind tight in our range, as far as the dollar goes, and we're mid-range too, which stinks. Directionless moves, you got to trade the extremes. So anyway, support's going to be right down here, about 98. We're at 98.15, so good news is we might actually move today. We might actually make a move out of this. This is a really tight range, but whoop, wrong way. Hold on. That's my bad. Okay, so anyway, that's the dollar index, and you can see we're really just kind of boxed in here, but we are retesting the trend line. I don't know if I'd get too short the dollar right now. Okay, you might want to start looking at the dollar as a possible long. Let's go confirm that. Let's go take a look at the euro dollar. Grab my coffee. Okay. All right, so here's the euro, and let's zoom in. And so yesterday, let's delete. Okay. So you'll notice rejection at the 618, right? Okay. We had our channel we popped out of. Okay. Broke out of the channel. Now we've pulled back. We pulled back out of the channel. We're bouncing a little bit right into previous support. That's going to act as current resistance. Just talking very intraday here. Remember 107.10. The reason why 107.10 was a big deal yesterday, and remember we held that, was because it was the 618 right here. if you guys don't recall. When we busted through there, it, kind of opened up the door to the downside. Um, so now a move back to 107.10 is probably going to give us some issues here. We're at 107 right now. I don't know if I really want to write down 107.10. Um, is it really? These are the tricky days to be trading. Let's see here. Um, Greece says no need to tap pension state reserves. So the euro is spiking up on that. Greek government says possible deal seen being reached as soon as the end of April. Now, a Greek deal, okay, understand what a Greek deal could mean. Um, a Greek deal could mean a whole lot of different things. A deal could be a deal with um, creditors. A deal could be, new reforms. Um, the Greek deal could mean a whole lot of what the deal is and how it and who it benefits is to be seen. All right, but the euro's pushing up on that news. So let's imagine where we can rally to if the euro continues to spike up. Um, Dollar index is still coming into support. Because I want to make the assumption that we rally back above 107.10. We're there right now. I just want to make the assumption that we do continue to rally. Because if we did, where would we go? And that I'm having the most difficult time trying to figure out. Because it's like, okay, if you break here, how far do you make it? How far do you rally from here? And I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure what that answer is. Um, my assumption is that spike high. Let's go over to the hourlies and see. And let's see, any day. Okay. See, here's the thing on the hourlies. I mean, that 107.10 is a big deal. But should we rally above there? Previous support, current resistance, 107.65. So I'm going to do 1.0710, 1.0765. Should we make it up there? Okay, so where's support going to be? support, I'm assuming if the euro starts to come down, we hit new lows. Like let's just imagine we do. The new low is going to be brief, and so that's we're probably talking about 106.40, which is the 618. Um, so I'm going to write down 106.40. Okay, let's take a look at the cable. Nick had asked me, hey Blake, are you short the pound based on the head and shoulder pattern? The answer to that question is yes, I am. I'm short at 78. Thanks for asking. I've been short here since like last hour. Um, so we have our head and shoulder pattern, right? Just so you guys all can still see it. Okay. Head, shoulder, shoulder, necklines right here. And so this is one that I actually sold it this morning. I'm like, oh, we've been as low as 50. We rallied back to 80. I'm like, oh, I'll sell it here. And frankly, I don't know where the neckline's at. I don't know. The neckline might actually be there. Regardless, we have downside. Okay. You know, regardless, we have a move that could take us all the way to 148. And if the neckline's way down here, the move could take us all the way down to 147.50. So wherever the target is, it's below where we're currently at. So I don't mind being short here, where we're currently at. Maybe it could rally a little bit further, possibly, because it's not a clean head and shoulder pattern. Okay. Um, so this is an example of, you had a head and shoulder pattern, retested the neckline. Whether the neckline's here, I'm not really too sure. I'm assuming it's where we're at right now. That's why I shorted it. But I don't mind giving it a little bit of space. As long as we stay below, let's just say, 120, 149 and a quarter. And then, there's obviously more resistance up at 150, but 149.25, 149.80, those are all big resistance levels. We are in a big range, okay? Support, okay. Support, I mean, again, it's not really too sure, but what we can do is we'll have to now redraw our fibs. Okay, we have a 38% retracement that's holding, and that's 148.55 is a low there. 50% retracement comes in 148. It's probably your initial target on your head and shoulder pattern. Again, depending on how it's drawn out. The euro's at 107.10 right now, by the way. That comes in at 148.05. So basically 148 support. Take a look at the euros. Let's see if these continue to hit highs here. Okay. We're hitting that resistance right now on the euro and just kind of struggling there. We might take it out though. We might make it all the way to 107.60 today. It's possible. Let's go over to the Swissy. All right, here's the Swissy, and I don't know what to do with the Swissy. I mean, other than we're in this big. Here, I'm going to delete all this stuff. And by the way, all my drawings from yesterday, I lost them. If you notice from where we're at today versus where we were at yesterday, I lost everything because I accidentally deleted everything, so I couldn't save my uh, I couldn't save my layout, so I lost everything that I drew yesterday. Kind of stinks, but that happens from time to time. Okay, so here's a dollar Swiss. There's the I think we're developing a wedge on the dailies. Okay, unfortunately, we're kind of in the middle here. Okay, and okay, so 38% retracement comes in at 96.25. Obviously, is struggling there. Look at that 4 hour candle. Okay, so 96.25 is going to be a little bit of a problem there. Here's your hourly. Tough reads when we're so choppy. 96.30 and let's see where support's at. Just trying to figure out where some support's at for this one. 127% extension there. Man, so these are tough charts to analyze. One of the reasons why I'm not really overly excited about trading right now is because when we're range bound or we're choppy like this, this is the time where you have to be really, really disciplined in what you're doing too. I mean, this is pretty par for the course. If you just take something like the Swissy, where you're like, oh my God, here's a breakout, and then you get sucked long, and then now you're getting stopped out, and you're like, wow, what the hell? And the similar things are happening, on every, like you can see every breakout here. You get a breakout, you just get stopped out. Same things happening over and over and over again. Um, it's going to happen on the other side too, on the short side. Well, regardless, let's do this. So we're not even matching up horizontally with some of these fibs. I mean, this one is right here at 159.55. Then you got 45, which is a 786. and 45 is a 618 from here, and 45 is a 786 from here. So I'm going to write down 95.45 just because you have a confluence of a couple fibs, but it's not great support. Okay, let's go to do the dollar yen really quick before we take a break. Here's the dollar yen. So the dollar yen, we spiked above 119.50, which was resistance. The Nikkei spiked up, the dollar yen spiked up just enough to look. I mean, this is exactly what the Swissie's doing. Taking stops, okay, then reversing, just like, taking stops to the downside, reversing, taking stops to the upside, reversing. Okay, I'm going to make the assumption that the overnight high, which comes in, well, we won't even take the high. We'll just say 119.17 is really key resistance. Support will be right back down here at 119.10. 119.70. 119.10. Oops. We're in a range environment. And when we come back, we're going to do the Canadian, the Kiwi, and the Aussie. So don't go anywhere. We'll chew through these. It's a really, really choppy market, guys. So try not to get married with whatever you're doing. I'll be right back. All right, traders, this is Blake Morrow. You were listening to the Morning Edge webinar. Let's go ahead and let's get back to it. So we have the dollar yen here. Let's go over to the Kiwi. Oh no, the Canadian, I'm sorry. Let's start off with the Canadian. So the dollar Canadian, I think yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, we wrote down 122.70 for resistance, didn't we? I think. Can somebody confirm that? What did we write down yesterday for resistance? For yesterday for the Canadian. 122.70 for the Canadian. Thank you. I guess it was. All right. Yeah, it was from this spike high. That's what it was from. It was this spike high as resistance. Oh, so overnight we went as high as 122.79, or yeah, 79 would have been the high there. Obviously, this is, still resistance. I mean, we'll write 122.80. Hold on really quick. The thing about the Canadian, I had somebody yesterday, it was like, I'm looking to short the Canadian. I'm like, well, and this is yesterday. Somebody was saying, I want to short the Canadian. We were at like 122.20, where we're at currently. And I'm like, oh, you got to be careful doing that, just because we had such a nice hammer on Friday. And, we're grinding higher, but the fact of the matter is we're not up at resistance yet. I still think the dollar Canadian is going to be a really good fade, but you got to get back up to 123.50. Okay. That's where the dollar Canadian is going to be a really, really nice short. Now, between now and then, here, let's delete this. I don't know where all this crap came from. 121.80, 122.80. I hate giving you guys that type of range, but kind of is what it is. 121.80. You guys got to trade these extremes too. I mean, if we get down to 121.80, I'd probably buy the dollar Canadian. You know, we tag the 122.80. We look like we're going to stall. It's probably not a bad short. Let's go over the Kiwi. All right, so the Kiwi, we're at 77 cents. It has been stronger. Um, now, now keep in mind the Kiwi from the other day. We rallied. We broke to new highs. You guys might remember this. At some point, this candle was all green. Everybody was really bullish, and I sat there and said, "Hey, be careful because I don't think everybody's looking at that yellow trend line." Okay, this is all green at one point. You know, we were all green, and I don't think anybody was looking at the yellow trend line that comes through. We hit it, did a false breakout, closed below the breakout point right here at 77 cents. Then we came down. Now, here's the thing about the Kiwi. We're holding above that, like a retest of this trend line, if you will. Okay, you can see it. We're holding above all these levels right now that are pretty key. Okay, that comes in at 76.30. That's really critical support as far as I'm concerned. Really key resistance right now is 77, whatever the spike high is here, 77.40. Okay. In the event that we break above 77.40 and we close above 77.40, that'd be very, very bullish. The Kiwi. Okay, this is a key level of resistance. I'm going to put an asterisk there because it is. And we're not too far away from there right now. I mean, we're only we're only 35 pips really away from that level. So let's go take a look at the Aussie. Okay, here's the Aussie dollar. Now the Aussie, I have to go take a real dissect a little closer look here for the Aussie dollar. So the Aussie, if you guys recall, we've had a lot of mess here. Well, first of all, this was a 161% extension. That rejection up here was also a 786 of this move. Gave us a really nice rejection around the 78.50 level. Okay, so now you get rid of this, get rid of that because now you know the reasons why. Okay, let's delete that, and let's delete that for now. Okay, and let's take the move from these lows. Okay, 50% retracements holding. All the way down here, it's probably going to offer us some really good support if we can make it all the way back down to 76.50. Hold on one second. And that 786 is, or 618 is holding pretty well too. Okay. Okay, 77.55 is going to offer really good resistance. You know what? I bet you that's a range extension too. It is. 77.55. That's going to be good resistance. Support. 76.75. Okay. And you know what? I'm going to do a couple others really quick. I want to take a look since I'm a little at this point in time. I'm a little. I want to see if the dollar really has the gusto to break below this 98, which you can see we moved all the way down to 98.07 and bounced already 5 cents. Um, like I said, a move down to 98 should be very supportive. I want to take a look at these other. Whoops. Um, Here's the peso. See, look at how strong the peso is. I mean, look at this. That's pretty stout. Why is the Mexican peso so strong? So you get the dollar if the dollar starts to bounce today, which could easily happen from current levels. Okay. Next thing you know, you've got the peso that hell, I mean we're not far off from trend highs. Let me see if there's anything happening out of Mexico today. Stand by. This is you should pay attention to this because I didn't look today to see what's today, Tuesday. We don't have any economic data out of Mexico coming. But the thing about the peso is you got to keep an eye on it because if the dollar starts moving higher, this peso is going to rip higher. Okay, let me check something. Shoot, we're stalled at a 786. If we break new highs today, 1549, got to keep an eye on it. I got to look at something else now. 115.49. That's a pretty important resistance. Just because if we take that out, then we're going to gun for new highs. And if we start gunning for new trend highs, I mean, that's going to be okay, 150. I'm sorry, 1530. 1530. What is that? 1535. We're in a range right now, but got to keep an eye on that. Let me go take a look at a couple other emerging market currencies. USD. I want to take a look at the Turkish lira really quick. I mean, look at the Turkish lira. The thing's almost at new trend highs. Seriously. Okay, Brazilian real, not so much. So let's take a look at the South African rand. And this thing's not selling off either. Looks a lot like the peso. And you get a little weakness in crude oil. You get a little weakness in crude oil. And next thing you know, you're going to have the Mexican peso and the Brazilian real at new highs. Okay. Let's go over to the Nordic currencies really quick. Aha. Aha. Look at this. Big resistance. You guys want to short a dollar pair, U.S. dollar, Norwegian krona. Resistance 7.92. Because as long as it stays below 7.92, 771.50. It's a really, I can't trade this one anymore, but man, that's a really good risk reward to be on the short side right now. Really, really good risk reward. 7.71. It's definitely in a range, but like I said, it's risk reward. It's perfect for a short. Let's go take a look at the Swedish krona. Sweden, I thought there was some, unemployment rate came in a little better than expected. That would explain the reason why the Swedish krona is a little stronger right now. Hmm. We'll keep an eye on the Swedish krona. Looks pretty weak here, though. Um, all right, guys. There's your bias chart. So you're good to go. All right.